The alarm screamed through Luna Base like a dying animal. Commander Hyunwoo ran down the metal hallway, his boots making loud sounds on the floor. He had never heard this alarm before. It was the one they hoped would never ring. "Sir, you need to see this," called Officer Min-jae from the control room. His voice shook as he spoke. Hyunwoo could see sweat on the young man's face even though the base was always cold. The main screen showed space, but it was not empty space. Thousands of dots filled the darkness. Each dot was bigger than Earth's largest ship. Much bigger. How many? Hyunwoo asked. His mouth felt dry. 9,900 ships, sir, Min-jae said. They came out of nowhere, just appeared at the edge of our system. Hyunwoo stared at the screen. In his 20 years with the Earth Defense Force, he had never seen anything like this. Earth's entire fleet had only 200 ships. These aliens brought almost 10,000. On Earth, President So-young sat in the emergency room deep under the capital city. The room had no windows. Bright lights made everything look white and clean. Around the long table sat the most important people on Earth. Defense Minister Tai-jin spoke first. "The ships are unlike anything we have seen. Each one is 10 times the size of our biggest battleship. They have weapons we cannot understand." Admiral Minho looked tired. He was an old man who had fought in Earth's last big war. "Our satellites show they are moving toward Earth. Slowly, but they are coming." "Have they tried to talk to us?" So-young asked. "Yes, Madam President," said Communications Director Hai-jin. "The message came in our language. Perfect Korean, English, Chinese, and every other language on Earth. They know us well." Hai-jin pressed a button. A voice filled the room. It sounded cold and had no feeling. "People of Earth, we are the Valak hegemony. We have come to take your world. You have 24 Earth hours to surrender. If you fight, we will kill everyone on your planet. We have done this before, we will do it again." The room became quiet. So-young felt fear in her stomach, but she was the leader. She could not show it. "Options?" she asked. Admiral Minho shook his head. "We have 200 ships. They have almost 10,000. Our weapons are toys compared to theirs. If we fight, we lose. If we surrender, we lose anyway," Tai-jin said. The message was clear. They want our world. What happens to us? Nobody answered because they all knew. The aliens would make humans into slaves or kill them all. Far above Earth, on the biggest alien ship, Commander Thexal looked at the small blue planet. He had done this many times before. 846 worlds had fallen to the hegemony. Earth would be number 847. "How long do you think they will take to surrender?" asked his second officer, Krevan. Thexal made a sound like laughter. "Look at their ships, small and weak. Their weapons use fire and metal. We stopped using such things 1,000 years ago. They will surrender before we even reach their planet." On the screen, tiny human ships moved around Earth like insects. Some tried to form battle lines. Others ran toward the outer planets. It made Thexal happy to watch them panic. "Should we destroy a few ships to show our power?" Krevan asked. "No need," Thexal said. "They will see us coming and know they cannot win. These humans are not stupid. They will choose to live as our servants rather than die as heroes." But Thexal was wrong about humans. He did not understand them at all. In a secret place under the mountains, Dr. Ji-hai worked with her team. They had been working for years on something the government called Project Prometheus. It was Earth's biggest secret. "Are the satellites ready?" she asked Engineer Do-hyun. "All 5,000 are in place," Do-hyun said. "Hidden in the asteroid belt behind moons, even in Earth's orbit. The aliens will think they are space junk." "And the missiles?" Engineer Soo-jin looked up from her computer. "All nuclear missiles are ready. Old ones, new ones, even the ones we were going to throw away. If your plan works, we have enough to hurt them." Ji-hai nodded. She was scared, but she had an idea. The aliens were strong, but they thought humans were weak. Sometimes being underestimated was the best weapon. Captain Jin-woo stood on the bridge of his ship, the ESS Defiance. Around him, his crew prepared for battle. They all knew they would probably die, but they would not give up without a fight. "Sir, we have contact with all ships in the fleet," reported Lieutenant Dong-sik. 200 ships ready for battle." Jinwoo looked at the main screen. The alien fleet looked like a wall of metal moving toward them. Each enemy ship could probably destroy his entire fleet alone. But humans had something the aliens did not expect. "Send a message to all ships," Jinwoo said. "Tell them to remember what we are fighting for. Our families, our world, our freedom. Today we show these aliens what humans can do." Back on Earth, people watched the sky. In cities around the world, families held each other close. Children asked their parents what would happen. The parents did not know what to say. Young-hee sat in the communication center. She was Dr. Ji-hai's daughter and one of the best code experts on Earth. Her job was to listen to alien communications and try to understand their technology. "Mom," she called to Ji-hai on the radio, "I am picking up their battle plans. They think this will be easy. They plan to destroy our moon first, then attack Earth." "Good," Ji-hai said. "Let them think we are weak. When they get close enough, they will learn the truth about humans." The alien fleet moved closer to Earth. On each ship, thousands of alien soldiers prepared for an easy victory. They had conquered so many worlds that this felt routine, but Earth was different. Humans were different. The aliens would learn this soon. President So Young made her choice. She would not surrender. Earth would fight. "Send a message to the aliens," she told Heijin. "Tell them we reject their offer. Earth will never surrender." The message went out into space. On the alien flagship, Thexal received it and laughed. "Stupid. Humans," he said. "They choose death over slavery, so be it, begin the attack." The war for Earth was about to begin. The Velek fleet moved through space like a metal storm. 500 ships led the attack, each one glowing with power shields that could stop any weapon humans had ever built. At least that was what Commander Thexal believed. "Target their moon base first," Thexal told his weapons officer. "Destroy it completely. Let the humans see what happens when they refuse our mercy." On Luna Base, Commander Hyunwoo watched the enemy ships approach. His hands were steady, but inside he felt afraid. The base had strong shields, but not strong. "Enough for this, all personnel to escape pods," he ordered. "This base is lost." Officer Min-jae looked at his commander. "Sir, what about you?" "Someone needs to send the signal," Hyunwoo said. "Go, that is an order." Min-jae wanted to argue, but he knew better. He ran toward the escape pods with the others. Hyunwoo waited alone in the control room, his finger on a red button. The first Velak ships entered the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Their sensors showed nothing dangerous. Just floating rocks and ice like every other star system they had conquered. But Captain Jinwoo was waiting. His ship, the ESS Defiance, hid behind a large asteroid. With him were 50 other human ships, all small, all weak compared to the enemy. But they had something the aliens did not expect. "Remember," Jinwoo spoke into his radio, "we are not trying to win a fair fight. We are trying to hurt them and make them angry. Hit them hard and run away fast." Engineer Dongmin sat in an old mining ship called the Rockbreaker. Around him, 20 other mining ships waited in silence. These ships were not built for war. They were built to break apart asteroids and collect metal. But today they would break apart something else. The first Velak ship passed near the asteroid where Dongmin hid. It was beautiful and terrible, covered in blue lights and weapons that could destroy cities. Its shield glowed like a soap bubble around the massive hull. "Now," Dongmin whispered. The mining ship's drill, built to cut through solid rock, fired. But instead of rock, it hit the Velak ship's shield with a piece of metal moving faster than a bullet. The shield flickered and died. "Impossible," said the Velak captain of that ship. "Their weapons are too weak to break our shields." But the shield was broken. A second mining ship fired, and its metal drill bit punched through the alien hull like paper. Air and alien bodies flew out into space. The first Velak ship of the Great Invasion Fleet died, killed by a mining tool. "Attack!" Jinwoo shouted into his radio. 50 human warships came out from behind asteroids. Their weapons were simple but effective. Missiles with nuclear warheads, railguns that fired pieces of metal at incredible speed, lasers powered by ship reactors. The Valak ships were bigger and stronger, but they were not ready for this kind of fight. Their shields worked well against energy weapons, but the humans used physical projectiles, chunks of metal and rock moving so fast they hit like bombs. 3 more Valak ships died in the first minute. On Earth, Dr. Jihai watched the battle on her screens. Her plan was working, but she knew this was just the beginning. Su Jin, she called to her engineer, "Are the satellites ready?" "All systems active," Su Jin replied. "The aliens still think they are looking at space junk." Young Hee, listening to alien communications, heard something important. "Mom, they are calling for reinforcements. They are scared." "Good," Jihai said. "Fear makes people make mistakes, even aliens." Commander Thexal watched his forward ships die and felt something he had not felt in centuries. Doubt. "How are they doing this?" he asked his weapons officer. "Their weapons are primitive but effective against our shields," came the reply. "They use kinetic energy instead of plasma or lasers." Kinetic energy? Thexal could not believe it. "They are throwing rocks at us?" "Very fast rocks, sir, and metal pieces. Our shields were not designed to stop such crude weapons." On the human side, Captain Jinwoo felt hope for the first time since the aliens arrived. His small fleet danced around the massive enemy ships, hitting and running like wasps attacking elephants. "Sir," called Lieutenant Dongsik, "we have destroyed 12 enemy ships and damaged 30 more. But they are learning. They are changing their shield frequency." Jinwoo nodded. He knew this trick would not work for long. The aliens were smart, they would adapt. "All ships prepared to retreat," he ordered. "We have done what we came to do." But the Valak fleet was angry now. 500 ships surrounded the human force, their weapons charging with deadly energy. "Sir, they have us trapped," Dongsik said. Jinwoo smiled. It was not a happy smile. "No, they think they have us trapped." "Hyunwoo, now would be good." On Luna Base, Commander Hyunwoo pressed the red button. All across the solar system, hidden nuclear missiles activated. They had been placed years ago, disguised as old satellites and space junk. The Valak fleet had passed right by them without noticing. The missiles did not target the alien ships. Instead, they exploded in empty space, creating massive bursts of electromagnetic energy. Every Valak ship suddenly went blind. Their sensors stopped working. Their communications died. Their targeting systems failed. In the confusion, Jinwoo's fleet escaped. The human ships knew where the electromagnetic bursts would happen, so they had shielded their equipment. "This is Jinwoo to all human forces," the captain broadcast. "Phase 1 is complete. We have shown them they can bleed. Now comes the real test." Commander Thexal stared at his dead screens as his technicians worked to restore power. Around him, his officers looked nervous. "Report," he demanded. 47 ships destroyed, sir. Over 100 damaged. All systems are coming back online, but slowly." Thexal had lost more ships in 1 hour than he had lost in the previous 10 conquests combined. These humans were not like the other species he had defeated. "Sir," his communications officer said, "we are receiving reports from ships throughout the fleet. They are asking for new orders." Thexal thought carefully. He could retreat and call for more ships, but that would mean admitting that a primitive species had hurt the mighty Valak hegemony. "Continue the attack," he ordered. "But carefully this time. These humans have tricks, but they are still weak. We still have over 9,000 ships. They have fewer than 200. On Earth, President So-Young received the battle report. 50 human ships had attacked 500 alien ships and lived to tell about it. It was more than anyone had dared hope. "How long can they keep this up?" she asked Admiral Minho. The old admiral looked thoughtful. "Not long, Madam President. The aliens are learning. They will adapt their tactics and weapons. We surprised them once, but surprise only works once. Then we need to surprise them again," So-Young said, "and again, until they decide Earth is not worth the cost." Deep in her mountain laboratory, Dr. Jihai prepared the next surprise. The aliens thought they were fighting Earth's Military. They had no idea that every human on the planet was now part of the war effort. Do-hyun, she called to her engineer. Activate the civilian satellites, all of them. All of them. Do-hyun looked surprised. That includes communication satellites, weather satellites, even television satellites. All of them, Ji-hye repeated. The aliens are about to learn that humans do not give up easily. Commander Thexel was no longer amused. He stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching damage reports scroll across his screens. In 3 days of fighting, he had lost over 300 ships. 300 ships destroyed by insects. Enough. Games, he said to his fleet commanders. Deploy all ships, every single one. I want this system swept clean of human resistance. Across the solar system, 9,600 Valak ships moved into attack formation. They came from every direction, surrounding Earth like a closing fist. This time there would be no escape for the humans. But on Earth, Admiral Minho was ready. Activate the civilian fleet, he ordered. Across Earth's solar system, thousands of ships that had been hiding suddenly turned on their engines. Cargo ships that carried food between planets. Mining vessels that worked in the asteroid belt. Tourist ships that took rich people to see the rings of Saturn. Even small pleasure craft owned by regular families. All of them had been secretly modified with weapons. Pilot Jae Young sat in her small racing ship, the Silver Arrow. It was fast and could turn quickly, built for racing around planets for sport. Now it carried a single nuclear bomb in its cargo bay. This is crazy, she said into her radio. My ship was built for racing, not fighting. That is exactly why it will work, came the reply from Admiral Minho. The aliens expect to fight warships. They do not expect to fight a racing ship. Around Earth, Mars, and Jupiter, thousands of civilian ships waited for their orders. Most of their pilots were not soldiers. They were ordinary people who wanted to save their world. The Valak fleet moved closer. Their formation was perfect, designed to crush any resistance. But they were looking for human warships. They paid no attention to the civilian vessels that looked harmless. Begin the swarm attack, Admiral Minho ordered. What happened next had never been seen before in the history of space warfare. Thousands of small ships attacked from every direction at once. They moved like angry bees defending their hive. The Valak ships tried to target them, but there were too many. For every ship they destroyed, 10 more appeared. Racing ships darted between the massive alien vessels, too fast to hit. Cargo ships rammed into Valak hulls, exploding their cargo holds full of bombs. Mining ships used their industrial tools as weapons, cutting through alien armor. Jae Young guided her racing ship toward a Valak destroyer. The alien ship was firing at everything around it, but its weapons were too big and slow to hit something, as small and fast as the Silver Arrow. She flew straight at the ship's main engine. At the last second, she ejected from her ship and watched it crash into the alien vessel. The nuclear bomb exploded, and the entire rear section of the Valak ship vanished in fire. One down, Jae Young said as her rescue ship picked her up. How many more do we need? Commander Thexel watched his perfect battle plan fall apart. His ships were designed to fight other big ships in organized formations. They were not built to fight thousands of small, fast targets attacking from everywhere at once. How many civilian ships do they have? He asked his intelligence officer. We estimate over 10,000, sir, and more are still joining the battle. 10,000? Thexel could not believe it. They have more ships than us? Their ships are small and weak, sir, but there are many of them, and they fight like they have nothing to lose. On Mars, Commander Sang-woo had been waiting for this moment. Mars was being terraformed, slowly changed to become more like Earth. Giant machines worked day and night to create an atmosphere humans could breathe. Now those machines became weapons. Activate the atmospheric processors, Sang-woo ordered. Full power, directed beam configuration. The terraforming machines were designed to break apart rock and ice, turning them into air and water. But they could also break apart metal and alien ships. Beams of pure energy shot out from Mars toward the Valak fleet. The beams were not very accurate, but they did not need to be. They were so powerful that anything they touched simply ceased to exist. A Valak battleship, one of their biggest and strongest, was hit by the beam. The front half of the ship melted like ice in the sun. The back half drifted away, powerless and broken. "Sir," the Valak communications officer reported to Thexal, "we are receiving surrender requests from our own ships. Many captains are asking permission to retreat." Thexal felt anger like burning metal in his chest. The mighty Valak hegemony did not retreat. They conquered. But his fleet was being torn apart by farmers and tourists flying cargo ships. On Earth, Dr. Ji Hai watched the battle with satisfaction, but she knew the humans were taking heavy losses too. For every alien ship destroyed, Earth lost 3 or 4 civilian vessels. Brave people were dying to protect their world. "Sujin," she called to her engineer, "how many civilian ships have we lost?" "Over 2,000, ma'am, but the aliens have lost 800 ships. At this rate, we might actually win." "No," Ji Hai said sadly. "We cannot win by trading ships. We need something else." Young Hee, still monitoring alien communications, heard something that made her excited. "Mom, the alien ships cannot talk to each other properly. Our electromagnetic attacks damage their communications." Ji Hai thought about this. If the aliens could not coordinate their attacks, then their numbers meant nothing. "Du Hyun," she called to her engineer, "can we make more electromagnetic bursts?" "Yes, but we have used most of our hidden missiles. We have maybe 50 left." "Use them all. Target their command ships first." The next wave of electromagnetic attacks hit the Valak fleet just as they were trying to reorganize. Command ships went dark. Orders could not be sent. Fleet formations broke apart as individual ships tried to fight alone. Captain Jin Woo, still alive in his battered ship, saw the opportunity. "All military vessels, target their command ships while they are blind. This is our chance." The remaining human warships, supported by thousands of civilian vessels, attacked the confused alien fleet. Without coordination, the Valak ships shot at each other as often as they shot at humans. Commander Thexal tried to restore order, but his own ship was under attack by a group of human cargo vessels. They were ramming his hull with loads of industrial explosives. "Sir," his weapons officer said, "we have lost over 1,000 ships. The fleet is scattered across the entire solar system. Many ships are requesting immediate retreat." For the first time in his long military career, Thexal considered retreat, but he had brought 9,900 ships to conquer one small planet. How could he return home with such a failure? "Signal all ships," he ordered. "Fall back to the outer system. We will regroup and plan a new attack." But as the Valak fleet tried to retreat, they discovered another human surprise. The electromagnetic attacks had damaged more than just their communications. Their navigation systems were also failing. Many Valak ships became lost in space, unable to find their way back to their fleet. Others collided with asteroids or each other. The organized retreat became a chaotic escape. Dr. Ji Hai watched the alien fleet scatter and felt hope for the first time since the war began. The humans had not won yet, but they had proven something important. Earth would not surrender, and now the aliens knew it too. Commander Thexal stood in the ruins of his flagship's bridge. Smoke drifted from broken control panels. Half his crew was dead. Of the 9,900 ships he had brought to conquer Earth, fewer than 7,000 remained operational. "Status report," he demanded. His intelligence officer Krevan looked at his damaged screen. "Sir, we have lost contact with over 1,000 ships. Many are destroyed, others are lost in space. The humans have damaged our navigation system so badly that some ships cannot even find us." "And their fleet?" "Still fighting, sir. We estimate they started with maybe 10,000 civilian ships. They have lost over half, but the survivors are still attacking our scattered forces." Thexal could not understand it. Every other species he had conquered surrendered when they saw the size of his fleet, but humans seemed to get more dangerous as they took more losses. What he did not understand was that humans had evolved differently than other species. On most worlds, intelligent life developed as prey animals. They learned to hide from predators and run from danger. But humans evolved as hunters. They chased their prey across vast distances, never giving up until they caught it. This persistence, this refusal to quit, was built into their very nature. Captain Hyojin commanded a small stealth ship called the Silent Shadow. Her job was to watch the alien fleet and report their movements. But she had discovered something more important than ship positions. "Earth Command, this is Shadow," she spoke into her radio. "I am watching the alien fleet regroup. They think they are safe at the edge of the solar system, but I can see something they cannot." "What do you see?" came Admiral Minho's voice. "They are trapped," Hyojin said. "All their retreat attempts end the same way. Their ships try to jump to hyperspace, but something is stopping them. They are stuck here with us." On Earth, Dr. Ji-hai smiled when she heard this report. Project Prometheus was working better than she had hoped. "Explain it to them," she told her engineer, Do-hyun. Do-hyun activated a screen showing the solar system. The electromagnetic pulses we used were not just weapons. They were also gravity bombs. Every explosion left behind a small gravity field. These fields are interfering with the aliens' hyperspace drives. Admiral Minho looked at the display with growing understanding. "You mean they cannot leave?" "That is correct," Ji-hai said. "We have turned our solar system into a prison. The aliens can move around inside it, but they cannot escape to hyperspace. They are trapped here with us." Young Hee, monitoring alien communications, heard the growing panic in Valak transmissions. The alien commanders are arguing with each other. Some want to keep fighting. Others want to try a different escape route. They are not working together anymore. This gave Admiral Minho an idea. "If they cannot coordinate, we can defeat them. One group at a time. Send orders to all our remaining ships. We are going on the attack." The human strategy was simple but effective. Instead of trying to fight the entire alien fleet at once, they would attack small groups of separated ships. Like wolves hunting a herd, they would pick off the weak and isolated. Captain Jinwoo led the first attack against a group of 50 Valak ships near Jupiter. His small fleet was supported by hundreds of civilian vessels, each carrying weapons, made from mining equipment and industrial tools. "Remember," Jinwoo told his pilots, "we are not trying to destroy all of them. We are trying to make them afraid. Fear is our best weapon." The attack began at dawn, Jupiter time. Human ships came from every direction, using the planet's gravity and magnetic field to accelerate their approach. They moved in patterns the aliens could not predict. The Valak ships tried to form a defensive circle, but there were too many human attackers. Racing ships darted between the massive alien vessels like fish swimming around sharks. Cargo ships rammed into alien hulls, their crews ejecting at the last second before impact. But the most terrifying attackers were the volunteers. Engineer Woo Jin had developed a new kind of weapon. It was just a small civilian ship with a very big bomb. The pilot would fly straight at an alien ship and detonate the bomb at close range. "This is Volunteer Ship 7, came a calm voice over the radio. "I have a clear shot at their command, Fessel." "Confirmed, 7, Jinwoo replied. "Thank you for your service." "Tell my family I love them," the volunteer pilot said. Then his ship accelerated toward the Valak command ship. The explosion was visible from Earth. The alien command ship broke in half, its crew scattered into space. Within an hour, all 50 Valak ships in that group were destroyed or disabled. But the cost was high. Jinwoo had lost over 200 human ships and their brave crews. Commander Thexal received reports of the attack with growing horror. These humans were not just fighting for territory or resources. They were fighting for their very existence, and they would sacrifice anything to win. "Sir," Krevan reported, "we have lost another group near Saturn. 300 ships attacked, by over 1,000 human vessels. The humans lost many ships, but they destroyed all of ours." "How is this possible?" Thexal demanded. "We have better weapons, better shields, better everything." "Yes, sir, but they have something we do not. Understand. They never give up. Even when they are losing, they keep fighting. Even when they know they will die, they keep attacking." On Mars, Commander Sang-woo prepared the final phase of the human defense. The terraforming equipment could do more than just create energy beams. It could also move asteroids. Target the largest group of alien ships, He ordered his technicians. Use the gravity manipulators to redirect asteroid course 77 Alpha. The asteroid was 3 kilometers wide and made of solid iron. The gravity manipulators, designed to move small rocks for terraforming, strained to change its course. But slowly, the massive rock began to move toward the alien fleet. The Valak ships detected the asteroid too late. It was moving too fast to stop, too big to destroy. They tried to move out of the way, but the asteroid's gravity was pulling their ships toward it. 67 Valak ships were crushed when the asteroid hit their formation. The explosion lit up space like a new star. Young Hee intercepted a transmission from the alien fleet that made her excited. "Mom, they are trying to contact their homeworld. They want reinforcements." "Are they getting an answer?" Ji-Hai asked. "No. The gravity fields are blocking their long-range communications too. They cannot call for help." Dr. Ji-Hai realized something important. The aliens were not just trapped in the solar system. They were completely cut off from their empire. No help would come. No rescue would arrive. They were alone with very angry humans. Commander Thexal came to the same realization. His mighty fleet, which had conquered 846 worlds, was being destroyed by primitive humans using mining equipment and cargo ships. "Sir," his communications officer said, "we are receiving surrender offers from 17 ship captains. They want to negotiate with the humans." "Negotiate?" Thexal felt his world falling apart. The Valak hegemony did not negotiate with inferior species. They conquered them. But looking at his remaining ships, scattered and broken, Thexal wondered if maybe the humans were not so inferior after all. Maybe they were the superior species, and he had just been too blind to see it. 3 months after the great battle began, space around Earth was quiet. The silence was not peaceful. It was the silence of a graveyard. Commander Thexal sat alone in the command center of his damaged flagship. Around him floated the wreckage of 2 fleets. Broken human ships mixed with the remains of Valak vessels. The debris field stretched from Earth to Jupiter. Of his original 9,900 ships, only 143 remained. Most were damaged. Many had no weapons left. All of them were trapped in the human solar system, unable to escape. "Sir," his communications officer said quietly, "the humans are broadcasting on all frequencies. They want to talk." Thexal had avoided this moment for weeks, but he knew it had to come. The mighty Valak hegemony was about to surrender to a species they had considered primitive. "Put them through," he said. President So-Young's face appeared on his screen. She looked tired, but her eyes were hard as steel. Behind her stood Admiral Minho and Dr. Ji-Hai. "Commander Thexal," So-Young said, "I am President So-Young of Earth. We need to discuss the end of this war. You have won." Thexal said simply, "What are your terms?" "First, all remaining Valak ships will surrender their weapons. Second, you will share all information about your empire and the species you have conquered. Third, you will never return to this system." Thexal wanted to argue, but what could he say? His fleet was broken. His proud warriors were defeated. The humans had earned the right to make demands. "And if we refuse?" he asked. Dr. Ji-Hai stepped forward. "Then we will finish what we started. We have weapons you have not seen yet. Weapons that can crack planets apart." She was bluffing, but Thexal did not know that. He had learned not to underestimate humans. "We accept your terms," he said. The surrender ceremony took place on the moon. Commander Thexal, accompanied by his surviving officers, met with Earth's leaders in the ruins of Luna Base. Commander Hyunwoo was there too, somehow having survived when his base was destroyed. "You fought well," Thexal told the human commanders. "Better than any species we have encountered." "How did you do it?" Admiral Minho answered. "We had something you did not expect. We had nothing left to lose. When a human is cornered, when everything they love is threatened, they become very dangerous." "But your losses," Thexal said. "You lost over half your ships. Hundreds of thousands of your people died. How could you accept such casualties?" President So Young replied. Because the alternative was the death of our entire species. Every human who died in this war died to save billions of others. They died as heroes. Young He had spent months studying the alien technology and communications. She had learned their language and understood their history. Commander, she said to Thexal, we know about the other species you have conquered. We know about the slaves in your empire. That ends now. Thexal looked confused. What do you mean? Dr. Jihai smiled. It was not a kind smile. We are going to free them, all of them. Your empire is built on conquest and slavery. We are going to tear it down. Impossible, Thexal said. The hegemony controls thousands of worlds. You are just one small planet. Yes, So Young agreed. But we are the planet that destroyed your greatest fleet. We are the species that turned your unstoppable war machine into scrap metal. When word of this reaches your empire, how many conquered worlds do you think will want their freedom? For the first time, Thexal understood the true scope of his defeat. The humans had not just destroyed his ships, they had destroyed the myth of Valak invincibility. Captain Jin Wu, wounded but alive, brought the alien commander a datapad. These are the locations of every hidden weapon in our system. Every satellite, every missile, every trap we built. Study them carefully. Why are you showing me this? Thexal asked. Because we want you to take a message back to your empire, Jinwu said. Tell them what you learned here. Tell them that humans do not surrender. Tell them that we will come for the species you have enslaved. And if they send another fleet? Admiral Minho laughed. Let them come. We will be ready, and next time we will have allies. Every species you have conquered will fight beside us. The surviving Velak ships left Earth's solar system a month later. The gravity fields had been adjusted to allow their escape, but only after their weapons were removed and their computers were filled with human propaganda. As his battered fleet limped toward Valak space, Thexal composed his report to the Hegemony Council. It was the hardest thing he had ever written. The humans are unlike any species we have encountered, he wrote. They do not fear death. They do not surrender when faced with superior force. They turn their entire civilization into a weapon when threatened. They have capabilities we do not understand. They can trap fleets in normal space. They can turn mining equipment into weapons of war. They can coordinate thousands of small ships to defeat much larger forces. But most importantly, they have something we have forgotten. They have hope. Hope makes them dangerous. Hope makes them willing to sacrifice everything for freedom. I recommend that Earth be declared off limits to all Valak forces. These humans are not prey. They are predators. And now they know we exist. The report reached the Hegemony Council 6 months later. The council members read it in stunned silence. The destruction of the Earth invasion fleet was already known throughout their empire. Conquered worlds were asking questions. Some were demanding independence. A few had already begun to rebel. The human virus of freedom was spreading. On Earth, President So Young addressed the world. The victory celebration had lasted for weeks, but now it was time to look toward the future. We have proven that freedom is worth any price, she said. We have shown the galaxy that even the mightiest empire can be defeated by people fighting for their homes and families. But our work is not finished. Across the galaxy, billions of intelligent beings live under the oppression of the Valak hegemony. They look to us now for hope. They look to us for liberation. We will not disappoint them. Young He, now in charge of interstellar communications, had been receiving messages from across the galaxy. Conquered species were reaching out to Earth, begging for help, offering information about Valak weaknesses. The rebellion has begun, she told her mother. 17 worlds have declared independence in the past month. The hegemony is using their remaining fleets to try to stop them, but they are spread too thin. Dr. Jihai looked at the star charts on her wall. Each red dot represented a world enslaved by the Valak. There were thousands of them. We have work to do, she said. Space around Earth was no longer quiet. Human ships moved in all directions, carrying supplies to rebel worlds, bringing back refugees, spreading the message of freedom to every corner of the galaxy. The humans had learned something important in their war against the Valak. They were not alone in the universe. And they were not the only species that valued freedom over slavery. The Great War was over, but the Great Liberation was just beginning. In the depths of space, the few surviving Valak ships continued their long journey home. They carried with them a warning that would reshape the galaxy. They had been sent to conquer Earth. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous than any weapon. They had awakened the human spirit of freedom. And that spirit would never be contained again.